Hello and welcome to the show. We are back at the Bajarama circuit, seeing how long 3 different cars can survive, starting with the SBR4, a road-going sports car. Now, I've been sticking with the mid-spec cars so far in this series. That's what I've done again with this. We have got all-wheel drive and a 2.5 litre flat 4, but no crazy amount of turbos going on. Relatively fast, but not, you know, stupidly supercar style performance. However, there are a couple of interesting things with this. It's rear-engined, which we haven't seen before, and certainly the rear suspension is a pushrod, I think, setup. You can see through the rear window the springs and the shocks. The front, I think, is still... There we go. Yeah, the front is still normal suspension. I don't know if that's going to be stronger or not. To be fair, the front is going to be the one that takes the biggest battering. I don't know whether we're going to have the ETK syndrome. I mean, this is probably closest to the K series in terms of style of car. We may well, and I am kind of expecting that we're going to lose wheels. I'm suspecting suspension damage is going to be what sees this car finished. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe it'll be incredibly strong, like the 200BX, where wheels bend rather than snap off. I'm not holding my breath for that one. Oh, that's a big jump, and the radiator survived the initial impact, but the secondary... Okay, so the radiator is made of paper in this one. That's less than ideal, really. Come on, car. I was hoping with a little bit more speed we could clear the jumps, get some nice smooth landings, and that might save the suspension some punishment. Apparently that's not well. I mean, it did get a relatively smooth landing. In fact, probably some of the smoother landings we've seen across there, and it is quite smooth across that section there as well. But apparently that is not enough to save the radiator. The good news, though, is the wheels are currently holding on relatively nicely. They're a little bit twisted. It's not driving perfectly straight. Oh, we're across radiator springs nicely, but not such a good landing. However, I will take that. If we could stop having some... Oh, come on. There we go. Flip the car over. That's the ticket. So a little bit of frame rate lag as I went to go and put the nodes on. Yeah, we've got a little bit of an awkward bounce. The wheels, yeah, they're bent slightly, but they're not falling off. And there's some big impacts. So that's reassuring. I've just lost the back end as we go and take that jump. We're still having issues with the car. We're going to go for another roll, or 3. Come on, land back down. Yeah, it's landed that. Admittedly, rolls are perhaps less damaging than some things. To be fair, rolls are probably less damaging than that. That is not particularly good. It would be good if we had enough speed to kind of double these. Actually, no, I've got a little bit of rhythm going on now, but then we're just going to nosedive into the floor. Yeah, this is a punishing section for a sports car because it's got enough speed, it's got enough acceleration that as it goes across these, it's getting some airtime, whereas some of the really slow cars are struggling just simply to accelerate. This doesn't have that issue, and then we're just constantly smacking the floor on the ground. Although if we can go fast enough, we might here be able to clear 2. Yes, come on, keep up this speed. There we go. And we've only got to deal with less brutal landing. That's not quite worked though, has it? Oh. Guy, it was going so well to begin with. We'll get it back on the course. However, while the front suspension is ruined, the wheels are at all... Oh, what's going on with my rear left as well? There are all sorts of cambers and toes and angles are occurring. Still got steering. We've actually still got enough control and acceleration to be clearing these jumps relatively well. I say relatively well. Right, that is a lap completed with the SBR4 almost. I probably shouldn't say too much. There we go. We're around the corner. The rear is pinging about. I'm not quite sure what's causing that one. We're up to 40 odd miles an hour, almost 50 miles an hour in a very poorly sports car. And around this course, we're doing pretty well. I've got 53 there as we came through the corner. Ignore the speedo in the bottom right. That's wheel speed, and with the wheels so buckled as they are on this, chances are one might be in the air spinning, and that will yeah, don't worry about that one. Just look at the airspeed one at the center, at the bottom. Again, neatly across that jump. Not done any more damage to the car. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we are overheating, and that will eventually kill the car. I don't know how long this will last with the radiator gone. We've seen that the V8s do tend to last quite long. I don't know about the flat 4. It's not the worst. The temperature is creeping up. However, we are going to ping and bounce. There we go. We're pinging and bouncing our way. However, We're still going okay. We've still got steering. The temperature isn't in the orange zone as of yet, although it might not be too long until it is. The front bumper's underneath the car. I don't know where it's gone, which is a slight concern. Oh, bugger, bugger, bugger. There we go. Front bumper's out now from underneath that. We took a pretty hefty whack. Still, we keep going. Well, this has definitely not got the ETK syndrome with its flimsy, flimsy wheels. This is a lot sturdier built. If the radiator was built as sturdy as the suspension on this car, I think it would go on forever. I don't think there'd be anything that could stop it. Well, I'm imagining, I'm still thinking, even though these wheels are buckled, I'm still feeling like one dodgy landing and we might still sever them off completely. Oh, bounce again across here. We're still going. We are. Oh, this is punishing. We have now got the temperature light to come on. Can we make it onto its third lap? Oh, it might get to around and about the same point that we saw the sunburst die. We might make it that far if we can have a good run across these jumps here. I'm trying to get some speed up. Oh, we're across the double. Yeah, that's, well, it's kind of gone okay and then not gone okay all at once. I'm amazed we've still got steering. Well, the alignment, I mean, yeah, it looks horrendous. And it is crabbing slightly, but considering... Oh! Oh, go on, land it. Yes! We've landed a full flip. That was amazing. I'm not sure now. I mean, we've had the Pigeon with its many rolls was worthy of the most spectacular at the time, but the truck's front flip and now the perfectly landed front flip from the SBR4. I'm not sure what rates is the most spectacular stunt completed in this. Come on, get back onto your wheels. Right, stick it in reverse. Get it going once more. We are almost on to our third lap, which is, well, no, don't roll over. No. I could really do without this. Admittedly, the temperature gauge actually hasn't got to the top yet, which is comforting because we are coming up to the point in which the Moonhawk went off in a ball of fire past that fence. We're going to go past the Sunburst, and just around here was where the D-Series gave up. So the little sports car has done it. That's a good showing from our SBR4, and it's still got, in fact, it's got more steering than quite a lot of cars have had at this stage in their runs. Don't run over the bumper because that's going to get, or could get caught under the car, or could puncture tyres, etc. We've still got enough acceleration to clear these jumps. Coolant is overheating now. We're not going to be able to make it onto a fourth lap, I doubt. The rear suspension does also... I can't decide if the rear suspension's looking second-hand or whether it's the front suspension damage is now making the rear look a lot worse. Oh, come on. Ugh. We're going to clonk down there. We're still going, though. We're still going. Can we get, for a third time, across the front suspension is so ruined that the front of the car is now so low it is constantly catching on the floor, and that is bad in terms of acceleration. It's kind of the chassis, in fact, because the front's buckled up from the impacts, and it's the it's actually across the radiator springs. Yeah, it's not the front because the front's bent up. It's the just behind the front wheels, I think, is where the chassis is catching on the floor. We kind of bowed the entire chassis, but we're still going. We're still going. How much further? How much further can it make it before overheating gets the better of it? Because I think that's what it's going to be, amazingly. I was not expecting that. It's been quite the surprise in this... the head gasket's gone. In this run. We had some surprises last week with cars not doing very well in the shape of the Barstow. However, this... I did not think would make it onto its third lap. Getting onto lap 4, I think, might be a little bit too taller an order, and I don't think we're quite going to be able to get up to the Burnside or the Pigeon. They survived down the second set of motocross jumps. Is that no? We've not died. We've not died. The conrods are gone. The piston rings are gone. We're still just about going. If we roll and crash now, I'm pretty sure the engine will turn off and it will never fire up again. It is going to fail at some point. We've got to try and keep it... Ah, it's gone. Engine is gone. We will coast and we will roll. But there is nothing that we can do with that one. It didn't... it didn't get to the stage where it melted the block. It didn't get to the stage where it melted the block. Like the D series, the engine's off and it isn't going to refire now. We can we can try all we like, it is not going to refire. However, I mean, you can see we died with fully functioning steering. I mean, it's completely and utterly ridiculous, the camber and tow we've got going on, but it does still drive relatively straight and still steer relatively well. The rear wheels are actually pointing pretty neatly. I do think the rear suspension might have collapsed to an extent, but we didn't have any crazy camber and tow going on at the back. That's a fantastic showing from a sports car to make it that far around the course, and for it to be overheating is the thing that got it, is, yeah, really very, very good going from the SBR4. For our second car today, we have got our first mod vehicle, the Charmand 1000 series, essentially a Mark I Renault Clio. I've got the all-wheel drive turbocharged one, so there is going to be a fair bit of speed from this car, probably going to be similar to the SBR4. That could be good news. It could mean that we can get some nice smooth landings on the jumps, and hopefully that can sort of save the suspension, maybe save the radiator for a little while, and drive shafts and so on. Although being all-wheel drive, we can get away if we do happen to snap a wheel, but yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see. Oh, we've got a fair bit of understeer going on there. We're running wide. It's about similar speed that the SBR4 did across that jump, and we have landed it. The bonnet's now slightly vibrating, but there we go. Nothing to worry about. Oh, hey, and another fantastically landed jump, and oh, god damn it! That is not a strong radiator. That is not a strong radiator at all in this car if it's gone from that, because that was a pretty that's a bit heftier landing, and that's a bad landing. However, if the radiator's gone from that first impact, that's even weaker than the SBR4's. Well, we've landed and caved in the roof, but the rest of the car is still in pretty good condition. Oh god, I'm trying to get it back down on the ground again before we completely utterly lose control of it. Oh, so nice to have a car that's got the acceleration and got the control to get across these jumps nicely. Oh, look at the temperature gauge. That's a little bit concerning. Temperature gauge is going up relatively quickly on this car. Across these are big jumps now for it to make. Just stop. Don't beach there. That would not be good. Okay, we're fine. We've got bodywork damage, radiators knackered. However, all of the wheels are still on. All of the wheels are still pointing the right direction. But I think this is still relatively tracking relatively straight, which, considering the flailing going on at the moment, is surprising. Oh god, the radiator on this one, or the overheating on this one, I should say, is not good. If we're in the orange already, in fact, there's the message for the coolant overheating. This might go out very, very quickly. It has survived a couple of big crashes. Our rear suspension is destroyed. The rear suspension is absolutely collapsed on this, which is, well, less of a concern than the front suspension. However, that's still quite impressively collapsed at the moment. Oh, we've lost the front left wheel axle across these jumps. The rear wheels are doing all sorts of peculiarities. We've still got drive, we've still got steering, despite that wheel axle death. Piston rings are gone. We've lost power, and the engine's shut off. Oh, it's made it about the same distance as the stance per Zima. I think that died on the landing of this jump and rolled a little bit further with the drive shaft gone. That is impressively quick overheating from the Charmand there. The suspension was ruined in the front left. The front left the wheel is still attached and it's still steering, so I don't quite know what broke in the front left, but yeah, that went very, very quickly. That's by far the fastest overheating we have seen. Our final vehicle to take on this punishing course today is a Mercedes. I'm not sure what we're going to be seeing out of this car. I'm thinking it might be quite tough, potentially. I don't know. We've got a semi-automatic gearbox in this car, which is nice. It's decent power going on. The rear wheels do look slightly wobbly. I'm not sure if that's just a texture thing. It's handling okay. They're not causing any issues, so we're not going to worry about that. It kind of looks like the wheels aren't balanced properly back. Either way, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. To be honest, that's about the least of our concerns. If it's still driving it and it's still pointing vaguely in the right direction, I'm happy with that. And that was really smoothly done across the first jump. Yeah, we've got decent power, but it's also quite a heavy car. We've not got amazing acceleration, although apparently this acceleration is just perfect to be landing these jumps smoothly. So very little damage has been done early on. The bonnet is ever so slightly buckled. That's it. That's all that's been done to the Mercedes. That's going to be a little bit heavier, a clonk. However, we are still all... Yeah, we're still all good. Still all fine in the car. Radiator springs might not be so friendly, because you can get away with... Oh, God, we can get away with these little jumps, because we're kind of landing in between the sections. But this, it is just one big jump, and we're not going... Oh, we're going fast enough to make it across. We've just made it. We haven't damaged the radiator. Bloody hell, it's nice to have a car that the radiator doesn't immediately die on. Oh, that was a little bit more sideways through there than I was expecting. Still, we soldier on. The wheels are okay. The front bumper's taken a bit of a knock, and I suspect the radiator has been cushioned by... I said being cushioned. The front bumper's been taking the impact so far. As it gets pushed back more and more, as the front gets more and more buckled, I think we're likely to see the radiator come to blows. Ooh. Careful now, across there. It's, yeah, kind of going to be painful in this section. The Mercedes is not going to really like it, and there indeed does go the radiator. It's made it further, though. It's made it onto the motocross section, which is pretty good. I don't know how long it's going to take for the car to overheat. The exhaust is now starting to wobble. That may well come free. Come on, make the double. There we go. Oh, dear. We made the first double, but we're not going to make the next one as we bounce around. Couldn't quite get a nice controlled landing that I wanted. Ouch, that sounds painful at the front. The front of this car is not going to be particularly pretty. Basically, everything bad is happening to the front of this Mercedes. But it does look like we are going to make it, well, at least around a lap. It looks like we seem to still get the speed, just about getting the height to clear these jumps, and the wheels are still all in one piece. They're still functioning. They're still steering the car. That will be one lap down for the Mercedes. How much further can it go? Well, it's all going to... At the moment, it's looking like it's going to be overheating once more with this car. But I'm not sure about the... I'm not sure about the wheels. They've survived a huge amount of punishment on this opening so far. Drive shaft could also be a concern as we get more and more buckled. That's going to start taking more impacts. This feels terrible in this car. Oh, Christ. Impacts such as that one. And as we get more damage, the car goes slower. We don't clear the jumps nicely. So, yeah, drive shaft could be a concern. We've just kind of got to go for it, really. I think our front suspension's all collapsed, which is hardly surprising at the moment. Temperature is going up. Steering is struggling for. We've made it, but we are struggling for steering and struggling for climbing ability at the moment. And across those sections we go. Still the car is okay, and the third gear is not really working. I'm not sure the diff is too happy with the angle of everything going on here. Oh, up towards radiator springs we go. Temperature gauge is in the orange. I think this is the smoothest landing bit there. That's why I'm kind of aiming to that side. I'm not sure that that's really working. Right, so we're going to have to try and get this car over, and that will do. Oh, the front is looking very sad. But the wheels are still working. Temperature is in the concerning zone. Oh! I think we might have lost the front left. The front left wheel has gone. Thankfully, it's not buckled, so we've got the right-hand side still doing the steering. We've just got the power to make it across there. Oh, come on. Oh. There we go. Yeah, it's the front left is gone. The right hand side is not doing enough steering. Oh, the steering's killed it. I couldn't make that cut. Yeah, that wheel's now buckled itself under. It's now pushing the other way, and I can't fight it. Even use of handbrake is not going to work. That is going to be a Mercedes out. The loss of steering meant we have gone straight off the course, and there is no recovering this without reversing. There's nothing you can do here, so that will be a Mercedes out of contention. I'm going to take it out of the bush just so we can see the damage done to the front of the car. There we go. It has actually now kind of freed itself, but that's cheating because we had to have to reverse it to make the corner. The front of the car is a very, very sad sight. From the back, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's a little bit the odd smash here and there, but it's not terrible. It's from the front, completely collapsed suspension. The radiator did hold on for a while, but it was a loss of steering, just a complete loss of steering, and no matter what I did, even the handbrake wasn't getting me around that corner. So, yeah, it made it onto its second lap, though. It made it onto its second lap, a decent way around its second lap as well, but, yeah, that is one dead Mercedes. So, on to our leaderboard, and it is not quite a top 3 for the SBR4, the sports car, having to settle for a 4th place. However, for, yeah, being a sports car, I think that is a really rather good showing. It made it further than the Miramar, the D-Series, the Sunburst. Yeah, to have kept alive for so long is really rather good going. The Mercedes also makes it into the top 10. Interestingly, the first car to go out through just complete and utter steering loss. A lot of cars have had snapped drive shafts, wheel axles, etc., but that's stopped the car from driving rather than loss of steering. Interestingly, also, the Mercedes about 3 or 4 millimeters further down the road than the Bajarama Classic. Incredibly close between those two cars. We find the Charmander down in 17th place with its incredibly overheated engine. It gets beaten by the Stance Bajarama, although they both did crash out on the same jump. The Bajarama did roll a little bit further. However, the Charmander does beat the Covert, which is perhaps the most similarly matched car. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. As ever, I shall link all the mods I've used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.